guys.
Oh,
Sorry.
No, you can go ahead.
No, I mean,
I've been talking all day, but welcome back to Top Cut here at the Midseason in Camarillo. We are here at Xander's Game House, and I am Regina. I'm finally joined by co-caster. This is Terry.
I'm Terry. I got 9 today.
Press F to pay your respects in chat, guys. But we've got for you guys Alex, who's coming back here, and Peter Munoz, who is going to be, I think he was the 4th. I did not count the seating on
He's
this
4-1.
one. There you go. And so we've got that matchup coming for you guys here, and the rest of Top Cut is going to be playing off the stream as well, so you guys will see the results as they come in on that one. But kind of, this will be fun. Probably just saw Alex's really
very exciting,
random kind of a gimmicky teamish in some ways. That wide guard null at the end, I will never get over it. But on your screen, we've got Alex on your left side with that Incineroar, Ferrothorn, Ludicolo, Lunala, Xerneas, and Tapu Koko, and on your right, Peter with that Kyogre, Tapu Koko, Lunala, Ludicolo, Stakataka, and Incineroar.
So the Lunala mirror is the one that really stands out when we look at the sixes. I think, well, I played Peter in Swiss, and I feel like his set is a little bit different to what Alejandro has shown in his Swiss rounds. So I think it'll be exciting to see how the different sets match up. I feel like this metagame, this format is very much about identifying the correct sets and coming up with a specific answer to it. So I want to see how the players identify those things and alter their game plans.
I mean, if we're ever going to consider a Culverberry Lunala as a normal set, I don't know what's going on in my life anymore. I mean, like, seeing that was kind
I mean, that's fair, yeah. What I meant more was, like,
they're running very
the way
different.
they're built, like, EV training-wise.
Yeah, because, I mean, like, they've got, like, what, 2 Pokemon that are different on the team. Their matches are some of the worst and best things to ever kind of watch.
Oh yeah, in so many ways.
They're very headache-inducing, but I think especially for the people playing them, because now you're trying to figure out, are we speed tying or did you speed creep me? And then that's kind of difficult. So we've got Tapu Koko and Xerneas as the lead of choice on Alex's side of the field, as Peter's going to be leading Tapu Koko
and Lunala.
And oh wow. So we've got 2 electric terrains going up there. Tapu Koko on Alex's side going to be the dominant one here. And Ferrothorn is going to be got electric seed on that Lunala, so raising the defense here. It's a little bit different from the way Alex is running his Lunala.
This board state is hard to say. So we know that the shiny Tapu Koko is timid, so I want to assume that both Tapu Kokos are maximum speed or close to it, so I want to say that this is a speed tie.
Well, Xerneas going for the protect on this turn, so not going to take any damage from either of Peter's Pokemon. As Electro Wave on Alex's side, that Tapu Koko going to be going first, going to lower the speed, so those speed ties won't be a question later on for Alex at least, as both of Peter's Pokemon go down 1 speed stage. His Volt Switch from Tapu Koko on Peter's side, going to connect with the Tapu Koko on Alex's side, allowing Peter to kind of choose a Pokemon that he's got in the back to kind of go against the Xerneas and this Tapu Koko. We still got that Lunala going to go for a move, but Stakataka, a classic Xerneas answer, going to be hitting the field now as Trick Room from Lunala. That -1 stage is going to definitely help Peter here now.
Oh, I was about to say, it's like, I feel like with Lunala, there's different sets and different moves that you can use that make your answer with a given 2 very different. So I think by Electro Webbing there, Alejandro assumed that the Lunala was going to use Tailwind or be out of Trick Room, but obviously Peter with the Trick Room play here turns that right around, and now Alejandro has to reposition.
Yeah, and Alex does not like that position at all, as he sends in his own Lunala in place of that Xerneas. Actually goes for a double switch, as Tapu Koko is going to be switched out for Incineroar. Going to get an Intimidate into both of Peter's Pokemon. Not quite as important right now on that Lunala, but that Fake Out pressure and then that ability to be a slower Pokemon in this is going to be really nice for him. Rock Slide from Stakataka, though, connecting with both Pokemon here. Going to break that Shadow Shield on Lunala and get super effective damage on Incineroar, as Moongeist Beam from Lunala on Peter's side is going to finish off this turn.
Where does it go?
Yeah, I don't think it's in the offense. It does go into Incineroar.
Yeah, that was the safe place to put it in. I mean, this position's a bit better, but I think the Rock Slide is a little bit tricky. I'm not terribly sure how the Incineroar was trained, but depending on the damage rolls, the Rock Slide may get a KO.
I mean, Alex also has that wide guard on Lunala. The problem is, I think Alex does not have a fun time.
Yeah, like the wide guard play is threatened by the Trick Room Lunala, which I assume is slower than the non-Trick Room Lunala. So with that in mind, I think the wildcard play is potentially very risky, especially after the rock slide chip that reduces the damage taken.
Well, so I think Peter and Alex actually played each other in Swiss, and Alex told me that Peter was his only loss in Swiss.
Oh.
So I don't know how that Swiss round went, and if Alex had shown that Lunala had wide guard, but he's gonna switch it out for Tapu Koko once more. So also not gonna like a rock slide from that stack Ataka, which is what it's gonna go for again. So gonna do a lot of damage onto that Tapu Koko, which it does pick up the knockout on that Incineroar, which is gonna kind of hurt Alex later on. Losing that is going to be really tough for him. Giving a beast boost to that stack Ataka, a defense beast boost, which is going to make it a little bit more difficult to take down, as Moongeist Beam is going to go into that Tapu Koko.
Yeah, it seems like the turn 1 Trick Room play was really decisive in setting up this position. With the Incineroar down and what I think is 2 more turns of Trick Room left, I think it's very tough for Alejandro to recover from this spot. It'll have to involve some sort of it depends on the Pokemon that he has in the back, and maybe he has to go for double protects.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really tough because, like I said, Alex just does not function very well in Trick Room teams, and that Stack Ataka is such a good answer to Xerneas right now. There's no way he can set up that Geomancy in any way, shape, or form, even safely. He still has to burn out those last couple turns of Trick Room. That Tapu Koko is on its last legs. That Stack Ataka, being the fastest thing right now in Trick Room, can just go for a Rock Slide, knock out that Tapu Koko, and Xerneas doesn't really have much that it can do.
Yeah, this is a really tough spot for the Xerneas. I would not want to have the Xerneas in this position.
Lunala coming back into that field for the Tapu Koko, and Lunala avoiding that attack on the switch in though, so Xerneas can be the one to take the brunt of that Rock Slide. Just very minimal damage on there, but Moongeist Beam from that Lunala, if it goes into the
I think it has to go on the Lunala slot. I think it's like a very easy thing to do right now. Low risk, but if he gets the switch, it's a very high reward. And he gets it.
And that's exactly what Peter does, is he picks up that knockout on that Lunala. That poor Lunala is going to get knocked out too. And Xerneas is going for that Geomancy on this turn, but I don't think it's going to be able to do much here unless he manages to stall that last turn of Trick Room. I think all he has to do is press Protect and then start clicking Dazzling Gleam, unless that Zakataka has a Wide Guard, which Wide Guard is so frustrating. It's so annoying to kind of go against.
Yeah, one thing I wish I knew was whether the Trick Room on the Lunala was revealed during Swiss, because that might help explain as to why Alejandro made the lead that he did. And even though it matched up poorly, it could have been something unexpected, or it could have been like a mix-up. Maybe in Swiss, Alejandro had good ways to cover that play, and maybe it just came back to throw him off. I would like to see how both players readjust their strategies and leads for Game 2 and 3, hopefully.
I mean, that's always difficult when you're playing in Swiss and you come back into top cut, but Xerneas is going for that Protect, and it's going to try to burn that last turn as Stack Attack goes for the Gyro Ball into that Xerneas spot, and Moongeist Beam from that Lunala is going to go safely into that Tapu Koko and pick up the knockout, leaving just this Xerneas against 4 of Peter's Pokemon. Like, this is not even like a close thing for Alex. Like, he's going to be able to, he's got to hope that Stack Attack doesn't have Wide Guard, because if it does, like, he's in a lot of trouble. And like you said, like, not having that revealed, not knowing if that was revealed in Swiss or not for either side is kind of, I think, kind of scary.
I want to say it was a surprise play, because I feel like if the Trick Room was known, then that Electro Web play was too risky. But if you consider the Tailwind option that I don't think Peter actually has, that play was actually fantastic, because it slows them down so you can catch up with their Tailwind boosted Pokemon and provide the chip damage for the later Oko. I think that must have been some sort of a surprise interaction. So I want to see how Alejandro mixes it up for Game 2.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of rough, because the minute that Trick Room went up, I think Alex just kind of lost control of that match on his side. Like, Peter was able to just get in a Pokemon that could just click Rock Slide and win, which is not something I've said in almost a couple of months since we switched format.
with his given 4. When I talked to Alejandro in Swiss, he said that the Ferrothorn, he didn't bring that often. But maybe in a situation like that, it could have helped. I am not sure. Or at least be able to have more, I guess, pressure, offensive and defensive capabilities in Trick Room.
Yeah, but like you said, like, if Peter didn't ever reveal Trick Room in their Swiss matchups, then that's something that Alex would never really consider, because you're right, that Electro Web in that first turn, especially if knowing that your opponent has Trick Room, that's not something that you'd ever really want to give them that decisive advantage over. And I think this is this is something that Alex has to think about, is like, how does he function in Trick Room? Because yeah, that Ferrothorn would be a good Pokemon to have out there, and like, if we're assuming that Peter is running like mostly Trick Room strategies here, then maybe his Incineroar is going to be slower than most other Incineroars, and that's something that Alex also has to consider, because losing Fake Out matches can also be really decisive.
But to avoid that, I think I would want to see Alejandro bring Xerneas in the back. I don't think Xerneas at the front is a really good matchup with the game plan that Peter has brought, involving the Stakataka, but also the Fake Out pressure involving the other Pokemon.
Yeah, because I mean, Alex relies a lot on making sure that Xerneas is set up, and that's kind of something that you have to rely on when you're running something like a Xerneas. But Ludicolo and Kyogre for Peter, as we've got Xerneas and Lunala actually the lead here on Alex's side. I mean, so we've got the Drizzle coming in here after that Ferrothorn. So again, like a little bit of slower Pokemon on here. We've got Fake Out from that Ludicolo. We've got, so Shadow Shield can at least stay intact past that Fake Out, but Xerneas can't safely set up here. That Kyogre could have the potential to actually, you know, if it's any sort of like Scarfed Pokemon right now, can go for a Water Spout, hit both Pokemon. Like again, it's kind of a toss-up, I think, for Alex as he goes for the Protect on that Xerneas, and Ludicolo going for the Scald, gonna break that Shadow Shield on that Lunala, maybe also get a burn. Ooh, whoopsies, oops, sorry, Alex. Does get the burn on that as Lunala goes for the Side Shock straight off. Gets into that Kyogre. Does okay damage on that Origin Pulse though. Gonna connect into that Lunala, which already has its shield broken, and it's also burned, so barely manages to hold on, but it's gonna take that residual burn damage.
Yeah, this is the tricky
it's a bad
spot.
Yeah, it's a bad spot for Alex.
Yeah, leading both restricted seems like a strategy where Alejandro is trying to apply the most offensive pressure, like in general. But I don't think it matched up very well with Peter's lead, which was basically the 2019 version of Double Ducks, which was known for its offensive pressure.
Ooh. Wide Guard from Lunala though going to be on here as Kyogre is hopefully not clicking Origin Pulse here, Peter, but Stakataka comes in for that Ludicolo as Xerneas goes for the Geomancy. He's going to get that those boosts straight from this first turn. I mean, this is just a hard like match, I think, for Alex, because, you know, getting probably expecting that Fake Out from the Ludicolo into that Xerneas to protect it, and then having that Lunala there and just trying to get damage there. But Calm Mind from Peter, oh man, that's going to be rough.
I still really like Alejandro's position here though, because after the burn damage, Lunala faints and Alejandro can get a free switch in, and that might give him the positioning element necessary. Oh wait, no, never mind.
It's a 13
it's not poison, it's burn, never mind. Yep. So it barely misses. This is kind of tricky. If it wasn't for the burn, I think Lunala can apply a lot of pressure, but now that it's on a timer, it's really difficult to really make use of its synergy.
Well, so Lunala is faster than Stakataka and Kyogre, right? So if Lunala can go after that Stakataka and keep Stakataka from using Gyro Ball against Xerneas, then he might have a chance. But Xerneas going to be going for a Moonblast straight into that Stakataka spot, recognizing that Gyro Ball is really terrifying. That Moonblast is going to help get it down to almost being knocked out. Lunala's last move that it can get before it faints from burn damage or from an Origin Pulse goes into that Stakataka, taking care of that threat to that Xerneas. No Gyro Ball damage and no Trick Room potential setup from that, as Origin Pulse is still going to be a spread move here, so at least that Lunala will go down, making sure that damage isn't that bad onto that Xerneas. So Alex in a much better position now than he was out of that first turn or even in game one.
Yeah, so when I saw the burn damage miss the knockout on the Lunala, I thought it might have been bad, but by having the ability to safely double into the Stakataka, oh, there's the Ferrothorn, nice. I think with the Ferrothorn especially, now Alejandro's in a good position to, well, have an interactive game. Like,
No,
yeah,
I mean,
sorry, game one was just
yeah.
a bit one-sided, and it was really difficult for him to recover once that turn one was over. So here, the board state is more stable, it's more even, and
I mean, Alex, I think is adjusting smartly, because he brought the Ferrothorn to Peter, bringing in this Kyogre, and so now you've got another Fake Out on Peter's side with that Incineroar, yeah, and you know, could potentially Fake Out that Xerneas, but now you also have to consider the Ferrothorn a threat, because now your Kyogre is in trouble, and so Xerneas going for the Protect on this spot, so not going to take up maybe that Fake Out at all from Peter's side, as Ferrothorn actually also goes for a Protect, so going to burn out that Fake Out turn on this time, and we are going to see it go into that Ferrothorn spot, so Peter considering that a bigger threat. As another Calm Mind, though, from that Kyogre is going to make it even scarier. It is going to be a +2 special attack and special defense. So Ferrothorn still has the potential to kind of go after it and not take as much damage from Incineroar, because we're still in rain, and like even with the knockoff, at least you can get damage back onto that Incineroar with Iron Barbs.
Yeah, and the thing is now Kyogre boost-wise have caught up to Xerneas, +2 special defense, +2 special attack, and there's still like a non-power herb item on the Kyogre. So now I think Alejandro's objective changes to trying to beat that bastard clock, because right now, with the stats and the differences in bulk, Xerneas has to play offensively as much as possible before it feigns to Kyogre.
Yeah, and he did get that Ferrothorn out of there for that Incineroar, just to make sure, because that Ferrothorn is his answer to that Kyogre. Xerneas managing to hold on, though, and it's still going to be faster. It is going to take damage from this Incineroar. And in rain, it's still probably going to just pick up that knockout. And it is going to be that Ferrothorn versus both of all of Peter's Pokemon, which is kind of rough there. I think this is still a very decisive game where, yeah, Alex was trying to preserve that Ferrothorn, but missing kind of knockouts on Pokemon there is going to be really tough. Like, Incineroar is no longer in rain. You can go for the Flare Blitz into that Ferrothorn, and Ferrothorn can't really do anything about it.
Yeah, with the Incineroar conserved very nicely, I don't think there's much for Ferrothorn to really do now, especially with the rain just ending. Yeah, other than that.
Yeah, I mean, Origin Pulse now is going to be at +2, and it's going to be single target onto this Ferrothorn.
Big damage.
Yeah, we are outside rain. It gets it down to half health. Incineroar going for that Flare Blitz is going to be super effective against this Ferrothorn. Does get Iron Barbs damage at the end, though, but is going to give that match and the crown to Peter. That only loss in Swiss round is going to be the loss that gets him out of top cut, too, for Alex, unfortunately.
Yeah, but, you know, both players play to the best of their abilities, and in the end, one player has to lose. Yeah. Well played to both players. It was a good set.
Yeah,
even if it was a bit, even with a 2-0 scoreline, I felt that there was still room for interactivity, and watching a top player recover from an unfavored position, I think that's where most of Pokemon's skill expression lies, so it's really good to see.
I mean, I think also that Alex kind of adjusted the way he needed to in terms of, hey, I'm going to bring in that Ferrothorn now as a check against Kyogre, and also going after Stakataka was one of those things where, hey, this thing is going to knock out my Xerneas, so let's take care of it. I don't know how often Peter revealed Calm Mind Kyogre in that, because that is something that's a little odd to see.
Yeah, it's very
like to
unorthodox.
Say,
some people would call it a meme, some people would call it uncommon, but
it's unique to Peter, at least for now.
Yeah, and I think it shows some of its strengths there, being able to match Xerneas by abusing the free protect turns. It was very easy to call certain protects with the way Peter was playing, cycling with the Incineroar, pressuring with Fake Out. So after 2 Calm Minds, if you think about it, that's a really generalized but pretty cool way to match up to an opposing Xerneas. I like it.
Alright, so we'll see you guys for top 4 as soon as they're done. Don't go anywhere.